And just a reminder for those of you who are joining us, we are about to start our session here, Trading Cryptocurrencies with Doug Kyle and Deb Caswell. We are streaming in multiple areas. We're in 2 metaverses right now. We're at Otherverse Classic. We're at Otherverse Xeon. Patch just went out for that. So if you're having trouble and difficulties getting into that, we do have support staff on standby to help you with that. We're also on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're maybe on Discord, we're maybe in Twitter, we're everywhere. I think it's called X now, I don't know, but we're everywhere right now. So I am here with you guys. We're going to have a conversation. I'm just going to make my camera off so that we can have the focus on you, but I already actually have some questions pouring in as well. But I think in order to get started with this presentation, let's just start with some introductions. Let's make it easy. Let's just slide in there with some intros. So I'll let you guys have at it. Go for it.
Go ahead, Deb, and I'll introduce myself.
Sure. My name is Deborah Caswell, and I am with DigieBot Technologies, which we have our digieBot platform and our nSights platform, nSights in the DeFi space. I know we're going to be mostly focused on that today. Excited, have been working with Doug for, I don't know, 8-9 years, something like that. And he's taught me to trade. He's taught me everything I know about trading, and I am forever blessed because of it.
Well, I'm Doug Kyle. I've been trading. I started trading Forex 18 to 20 plus years ago, and traded for many, many years in Forex, and then did stuff on NinjaTrader for years. And now we're completely in the crypto space and do some things with digieBot on Kraken and Binance, but do a ton on the DeFi space with nSights. And that's really what we're going to be focusing on today, and looking at, a little bit of our trading charts and how they work. But really what I want to focus on is where I think we're evolving to because of Brian Schuster and because of Otherverse and the opportunities that we have in basically a new world, a whole new space, something that wasn't available back, obviously, when I started trading Forex years ago, but is now going to be a vehicle for, I think, traders to get involved in ways that they've never thought possible. So super excited about that. And I think what we'll do, Deb, is start off by just showing our charts a little bit so that we can establish with you guys, that we are traders, we have the background in trading. And so we kind of, get some legitimacy to what we're talking about. I'm not here to sell you on nSights today. I'm not here to sell you on digieBot today. I'm here to just really have a brainstorming session with really where I think the world's going and what I think that new world is really going to look like, which from my vision and where I sit, it's super exciting. So let's jump in. Let's look at some charts. And
awesome. Doug, I'm just going to let you guys know really quickly, and I'm just speaking on behalf of some of our metaverse listeners. I know a lot of our metaverse listeners are very, very new to crypto, and this has been sort of a running comment that's been happening over the last day and a half that we've been doing our sessions. So if there's any sort of basic advice and basic information that you can also parse out, I know we have a very varied experience level amongst all of our listeners, but I do know specifically in our Otherverse Classic, as I'm looking at the screen right now, we have a lot of people who are extremely interested in crypto, extremely interested in trading, but they have very little information or they just are getting started. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out to you guys. If you have some time to throw in some very basic information in pockets for those who are very new to the space.
Well, let's start there then. And that's really good, Anna, to let us know. And I appreciate that because, when I run around the world and talk to people, like I broke a tooth and I was sitting in the dentist chair 2 days ago, Deb, was it?
Yeah, it was.
And I'm talking to a young gal that's working in the dentist, and I kind of envision all young people are involved in crypto or should be involved in crypto, but she knew nothing about crypto, right? And so at the basic level of crypto, and I'll start at the very basic level, I'll let Deb fill in some things too. At the very basic level, when we talk about cryptocurrency, we're really talking about, in most cases, utilities, things that have value. And like when we look at our trading charts, we have our own token, and the value to our token is the software and stuff that we develop. I just helped Brian launch some things this morning. We've been working on things for him, and they'll be available tomorrow. Brian, I'm not going to take Brian's announcements and stuff away, but things that Brian is developing here, right, in Otherverse, and most of you know the UTHIX token. The utility, the value of that token is in direct relationship to the software, that this world that Brian has built. So when we talk about crypto and getting involved in crypto, there's all kinds of different crypto. There's some that have no utility, no value, and it's just a perceived value by communities. Lots of those are what are called meme coins, things like that. The community likes them. They think they're valuable, so they have value from a social standpoint. But then there's coins like what Brian has developed, which is UTHIX, and we launched that in a pre-sale with Brian and stuff. But that coin has utility because of Otherverse, because of the .com, the Otherverse.com and the Otherverse.io worlds, right? And all of the things that we're going to be talking about today give that utility or that token extreme value because of the utility. So a lot of people say to me, well, it's just air. It's nothing. There's nothing there. They're so wrong. All right. In most fiat currencies that we talk about around the world, like the dollar and stuff that's not backed by anything anymore, there's really nothing there other than the perceived value of what the world thinks the US dollar is worth. But when we get into talking about cryptocurrency, now we're talking about real value because we got a real utility attached to it, whether it's Bitcoin's ledger system or UTHIX Otherverse system, right? You look for utility, and when you're looking at cryptocurrency, you also look at the pedigree. You look at the people behind the coin or behind the utility. Do they have the ability to do what they say? Well, Brian's proven that he has the ability, right? He's been doing it for many, many years. He has patents on the UTHIX token or on Otherverse, right?
Right.
Those pads are extremely valuable. So when we look at cryptocurrency, we're talking about utility, pedigree of people that are launching or doing it, and then that does the value. Deb?
Yeah, and most of the people that I meet who are interested in cryptocurrency today, what they're looking for is they're looking for that coin that's just, they're going to buy it and it's going to skyrocket in value. And at some point they're going to sell and they're going to make all kinds of money. That can happen in this space.
Right.
However, what Doug and I teach is how to trade those currencies, right? Buy a bag and come in and use our utilities, actually our platforms that we've built to auto trade those cryptocurrencies. And that's one of the things that we do. There's a lot, like Doug said, there are a lot of tokens out there that don't mean anything. They don't have a utility. They don't have anything behind them, and they don't have a team behind them. It's very easy to build a coin and put it on the blockchain and make a little bit of money, and there's nothing behind it. People do this, scammers do this, and so you need to be very careful about what you're looking at, what you're interested in. And what I love about some of what we're going to come around and talk about today, Doug, is that using Otherverse, you're going to be able to come in and Doug's going to talk about this when he goes through the slides, but we're going to have a trading community inside of Otherverse where you're going to be able to come in, you're going to be able to talk to the founders, right, of the coin, the creators of the coin. You're going to be able to see that there is actual backing behind the coins that you're interested in trading or new opportunities that are coming in. So I would just say, be very careful when you first start dabbling in crypto. And if the person you're talking to who's helping you along is trying to interest you in jumping into a hot coin because it's supposed to take off and you're just going to make all kinds of money, take a breath. And maybe don't get involved in that. Really research the tokens before you jump in. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, and there's a tremendous amount of Ponzi schemes and stuff out there. So yeah, and what we're going to cover today, I believe, is, like I said, the future that's going to eliminate some of that stuff, Anna. And so really excited about where we're going. So let's dive in and let's look at the charts a little bit that we've developed. And again, I'm not trying to sell anybody on nSights today, but I'm really trying to help people understand, again, who we are, and then I really do want to get into the future of what we do, where I think we're going, right? And the real possibilities. When we look at our software, this is our software that we've developed, and it trades for you. It's a dynamic grid system, and I won't get into the complications or the technical things that make this so great, but it's different than any other. If you are a trader out there, it's different than any other grid system you've ever seen because it dynamically moves with the market. I'll say that much. And it has a very advanced cost averaging or management system. And it's not, nothing that we do is standard. So it's not a standard cost averaging. It's not a standard grid system. And you'll see down here, and this is really all that I'm really going to kind of show you guys. These are the different grids that I've been running with this little test account that I demo. This is actually a training demo account that I do on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings when I teach everybody how to trade or how to trade crypto and stuff. So I use this account in that, and I do things in here that I wouldn't normally do, but even doing that, I want to show you guys. Like here with Bitcoin, there's 21 trades that have closed, and all of those trades, I'll scroll down through, have closed in profit. Okay, every one of them. Okay, and you won't see this in other trade systems. Here's Doge, which is one of those meme coins that we just talked about, but it has a huge social following, right? And so when I look at Doge and I scroll down in Doge, you can see all the green here. Every one of the trades closed in profit. Okay. And this is just establishing for you guys that we know what we're talking about, and that, that it gives us, when we talk about pedigrees, we do have a pedigree when it comes to kind of trading and building software. Here's DOT, a great program. This buy is still open. It's 1% away from being in profit, going up to close in profit, and all of its other trades have sold already in profit. Okay. When we go to Injective here, 20 closed trades, and every one of these trades have closed in profit. Okay. And I can go through, in fact, I'll just do it so everybody knows. 23 trades in near here, every one of them has closed in profit. Okay. And this is really due to the dynamic grid system, the way the dynamics work, and the way that the auto cost averaging money management system works in nSights. It is extremely powerful. I got a couple more. I'll just show you ALU here, 14 trades. Again, every one of them closed in profit. And again, BNB here, 10 closed trades. Every one of them has closed in profit.
And Doug, while you continue to show them all of your trades that have closed in profit, it's important, especially for new people who are brand new to us, to trading, to understand that this platform is built so that it's completely automated. You can come in, put a few parameters in, and nSights will trade for you. It'll buy, it'll sell, and it'll keep going. And we don't believe, as you can see, we don't believe in negative trades. Once nSights buys that crypto for you, it holds on to it. It's yours. We don't trade leverage, so it's one-to-one. You own all of it. So there's no need to sell it if it's not in profit. So we don't. But in addition to it all being automated, we also have a trader's dream worth of tools that a trader can come in, somebody who is actively trading and likes to manually push the buttons, and they can do anything, almost everything you can imagine as a trader that you've always wanted to do. You have it here in nSights. Why? Because Doug, with over 20 years experience out trading Forex, he knew everything that he wanted to build for a trader, and he's built it. So here we are. This is a phenomenal program. I know we're not here to sell nSights, Doug, but we do have new people to trading who might be interested in not only jumping into crypto, but also jumping into trading. And you don't have to be fearful with a platform like nSights.
I
Right.
just love it too, because I'm just really busy. I'm just
Right?
really busy, and I don't have time to be, I mean, I'm here. I'm here right now watching all these screens. I don't have time to watch another screen, and this would help me immensely.
Absolutely.
Well, and then you can see here, all of the blue dots are where the trades closed in profit. And these gray dots here is even if a trade gets taken high in a run, these are where the system cost average to these high trades back down to, and they closed out in profit. It is singly probably one of the most amazing pieces of software I've ever seen, not because we built it and developed it, but because of the way that it moves and flows with the market. And I look at this as a trader, not as the developer and designer of this. I look at it as a trader and just go, I love this. It's just that simple. So, and there's a lot more here, guys. We have cycle trades that we built. We've built all kinds of stuff in here that are for traders, like Deb said, that are really powerful tools. But again, that's not what I want to talk about today, because as great as this tool is, it's this current generation. And to me, it's kind of going to be the past generation. I think this tool will be used in Web3. I know it will be used in Otherverse, but of its own, it has limitations. Its limitations are a lot to do with social interaction and something that I developed, which I'll get into in the slides, which is I use a concept called wisdom of crowds, and we're going to be able to tie into that when we get into Otherverse and stuff, and you guys will understand where I'm going with this. But as great as this is, and it's absolutely phenomenal piece of software, I think this will be 100 times better when we get into Otherverse, and you guys will see why. So, Anna, any questions today yet, or anything that I need to cover? I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll get into the next part.
I mean, there's actually quite a few questions. I mean, we could start taking it. You know what? One question, actually, let's ask this one now, because it's quite relevant to what we just did. What differentiates your platform from all the other ones out there? What's your secret sauce?
Okay, I'll shoot. And this is I almost left the meeting.
I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back if that happens.
Wrong button on that question, Anna.
I'll bring you back if that happens, Doug.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll give a quick education. Okay. And I'll delete. Let me turn some of this off so I can kind of talk here around this point. Okay. In most systems, people are either trading what they're, like Deb said, what their friend told them to buy, and they're buying in these middle of these big up moves, and they end up getting stuck at the top of trades. Anybody that's traded has done that. We teach absolutely the opposite of that. I like the Warren Buffett trading ideology, which means if there's fear in the market, he's buying. When the market's going down and people are fearful, as long as the utility is viable, meaning that if the coin and what it stands for is strong, if that market's dropping, he's buying. If the market's running up, he's selling, right? He's doing the opposite of what the whole world does. What we do is I set up a grid system that is dynamic, and it allows us to make more profit. I'll give a quick education. Most grid systems have a high and low in that grid, meaning that between these two blue lines, that's the only range it can trade, okay? And if the market goes below that blue line, it's done trading. It can't trade anymore. And to trade within this range, it has a number of grid lines, and it has to have a lot of them. So each grid line has a smaller value because if you trade a lot of grid lines, it takes a lot of money. If you're going to trade $100 per grid line, now you're thousands of dollars into a grid. Or if you're trading $25 or $50 a grid line, it's a lot of money to trade every grid line. So what I did was I said, well, that's kind of silly, right? Let's don't do that. I designed a system that says I don't have to have a high or low. I just have to say, I want to pick 1, 2, 3 grid lines that I want to trade. And I usually trade with 2 grid lines. And then our system is designed where I can automatically add and delete grid lines if I want, but other grid systems can't do that. But if I can trade 1 or 2 grid lines, now my grid lines can be $100 or $200 a grid line or more. And I don't have a bunch of those, which would be what would be called over leveraging. I'd have too much money in. But what makes it unique is if I'm in a trade and I get in this grid line and it goes up and makes profit, now this grid line is available for me again to use anywhere on this chart when it meets the criteria. So the market is dropping. It's not a grid line range like most grid lines have a specific range between them. Like this would be a range, and that's fixed. In this system, this grid line will follow the market down when the right buy pressure, volume comes in. I'm a volume trader. I look at buy pressure coming in. When that trades, when that volume comes in, it will buy down here, okay? Now I say I did 2 grid lines. Now I have another grid line available. It drops and it finds it, if it's a certain range, I set a range that it has to drop. And if it drops and falls in this range, the next one's going to execute here, okay? Now, this one may not have gotten out in profit. My system automatically has the ability to see volume come in at a deep enough range where cost averaging would make sense, and it will add to this trade automatically, pulling it down near or close to the market. So now when we get this bounce, both of these now close out in profit and the cost average closes out in profit, and it starts all over again. The system dynamically moves with the market. I don't know of any other system on the planet that's available to the public that does that, Anna. So did I answer that question okay?
You more than answered it okay. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. And I will let you know if that particular person has any follow-up questions.
Okay. Well, let's dive into the future here. And I really want to, because this is what I'm excited about. Okay. I lost you guys. So let me get this set up here. Had it all set up and then I hit the wrong button again. So
At least you didn't leave the meeting. So
yes, that's a positive thing. Okay. And am I still sharing my screen?
You are not.
Okay. All right. So let's start from the beginning here. And let's minus this down. And all right, here we go. So Zoom, I will share my screen. And you guys should be seeing my screen.
Yes, we see it now.
Okay. So I'm super excited to talk about this because this is Otherverse. We've been working with Brian for a while. We're really working on developing quantum real estate in Otherverse. One of the projects that we're currently working on is a convention center. I'm not here to talk about that either. But what I am here to talk about is what quantum real estate or the Otherverse really gives trading that it never has had. And guys, I'll go through these slides slow. So if you have a question on any of the slides, let's talk about it because I really want to meet you where you are and make sure that everybody understands. Now, if you're already involved in Brian's worlds, right, you already see the benefit of metaverses, Otherverse specifically. And Anna, I have a hard time. I want to rename all metaverses Otherverses because it's Brian's deal. But anyway, every time I say metaverse, I want to say otherverse. But yeah,
We
it's
love
neat.
that. We love that. And by the way, this first slide you put up, I'm hearing, wow, this sounds awesome, fantastic. That's the kind of feedback. I love Otherverse. That's the kind of feedback we're getting right now from the crowd.
Yeah. Well, yeah, go ahead, Deb.
No, I just said awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so what you guys are seeing here is a convention center that we're building. We actually have NFTs on them right now, and we'll be hosting, like what you guys are going through, virtual conventions. But what I'm looking at within that convention center is this nSights Trading Center, right? I'm looking at a center that is dedicated to trading. And this is what we're going to be going through, because this is how we go from the world that you just saw, where we're reading charts and trading charts, to becoming an immersive interaction between people. And there's a huge value that you're going to see when we get into this world that the current world that I'm showing you doesn't have. Even though the current world that I've showed you is extremely profitable, that world, the world that I just showed you, is going to become even more profitable when we actually get into this world and start developing what we can do here. Okay, so let's dive in. And, we've already established, we know what we're doing when it comes to trading. And here's the first idea, guys. When we look at this, I look at a world where it's the first of its kind. It's the ability to have truly virtual trading, where people can come into an environment, have an instructor on stage, right? Have the ability to walk around. And I've done lots of training. I traded Forex, as you know, and I train people all over the world how to trade Forex. And one of the things that I really liked when I was teaching, we would have conventions where I would have people set up just like this, and I would teach something, and then I would go around to their desk, right, and see if they got it right, see if they were doing it right. And a lot of you have that kind of question out there where you can't get that hands-on help, right, when it comes to trading or learning. And so we create a learning center, a learning environment where it's collaborative. It's a one-stop shop type of decentralized education. And it allows us to, again, meet together in a way that Zoom is cool. I've been doing Zoom since it started, right? But it's not the same. And if you're in Brian's world already, you guys know that's true. Deb, the first time we went into Otherverse IO and we got on the dance floor.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was awesome. It was, we have been working together, I said in the beginning, for 8 or 9 years, but we've only been together at a few conventions where we actually got to speak, face to face. And we're on Zoom all the time, but when we got on the dance floor and we're able to dance together, it really felt like we were right there together. It's sharing energy, right? It's different. It's fun.
And that, I got to be honest, guys, that actually surprised me.
Yeah.
That interaction, and we were on our screens. We weren't even in VR. I can't wait. And I see this kind of stuff in VR, right, where we can really go in and we can have trading view charts actually on your screens ultimately. And we're actually doing this, or we're having a trade morning together, and we have one of the seasoned traders come on, and even though they can't give trade advice, they can show you what they're doing in their trades, and you can mirror that. You could learn from that. You could actually be part of that immersive experience in a way that you can't do it. And if you had a question, you could actually raise your hand. The instructor could come down off the stage, come over to your computer, talk to you, see what you're doing, and help you understand in a way that we can't do that unless we're actually doing a convention and you're actually there, right? And then everybody has to fly in, all the cost of doing that. This changes all of that.
Yeah.
Now we go beyond that, guys. there's a step beyond that. And this is the next step to that. And Anna, anytime there's a question, feel free to interrupt me. I don't get lost.
There are lots of questions coming in, but you know what? Keep talking. I'm just going to let you know, though, that the feedback right now from the audience is they just are blown away. They think this is amazing. One person in Classic said, I can already see my logo on a billboard there. Other people are saying, wow, nice. This looks so amazing. And they're all agreeing with you with everything that you're saying right now.
Well, our next NFTs are going to be billboard NFTs, guys. Just to say, that is our next NFTs. Our NFTs right now are square footage in the convention center. So those are going on right now. This is probably, Deb, probably one of, I think, the most critical, I can't say most critical because all of these slides are going to be most critical to me, but this one here, I think, is huge, right?
Yes.
Early access is key to this. And Deb was talking about it, and you guys are asking about crypto. And UTHIX token is a prime example of this, right? We just did pre-launch on UTHIX token. We're getting ready to launch UTHIX token. We've been helping Brian with all of that and building a lot of that technology for him. But when you're in this space, to be able to have Brian come on stage, okay? And let's just say this is Brian on stage here. I'll get my highlighter here. This is Brian. Doesn't look like Brian. It's not a very, AI does what AI can, right? This is Brian on stage. And he's talking to you about UTHIX token, right? He's talking to everybody about UTHIX token and what he sees it doing. And he's talking to you before the rest of the world knows about it.
Yeah.
Okay. When was the best time, Deb, to get involved in Bitcoin?
Before everybody was talking about it. The
Right,
beginning
right.
of the beginning, yes.
Yeah. If I could have bought Bitcoin when it was under a dime, and spent a few $100 and bought a bunch of it just because I had a few $100 to do that, I'd be mega rich today, right? UTHIX is similar to that. I can't guarantee how much it's going to go up, but I can tell you the utility behind it is extremely strong. And I can't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But Brian, as the inventor of Otherverse, could come on stage and educate you guys on what Otherverse is. And I'm not talking specifically about you guys. These are other people in the crypto world that don't know about Brian yet. Don't know about Otherverse and how powerful it's going to be, right? And they're getting educated on the UTHIX token. Well, guess what? You got to buy the UTHIX token. These guys are all getting educated on it. Guess what happens? They go out and buy it. Drives the price of UTHIX token up. You own the UTHIX token. Now you want to know how to make money in crypto? Right here it is, right? It's the people that know information before other people know information that is legitimate information. And Deb, you talked about this where there's a lot of hype out there. You want to talk on that just for a second in relationship to this?
Yeah. Oh, there's so much hype out there. People come out and hype coins all the time. And a lot of times those coins aren't real. It's not real. They're planning to scam you. They're planning for you to get excited, jump into the project, grab your bags of tokens. And as soon as it reaches some price, the people behind it sell and run off, and you never hear from them again. And you're left holding the bags, right? The bags of crypto that aren't worth anything. When you're in a place like this, and this slide reminds me of Steve Jobs standing up there at one of his Apple conventions, right? Where he's telling everybody about the future, what's coming. And it's funny because you likened Brian actually to Steve Jobs, way back when you first met him. But yeah, that can happen. But when we're looking at something like this, where the people behind the us, right? Brian, other people who are involved in Otherverse, and you can come and feel very comfortable about projects being brought to you that have been vetted, that are partnering with Otherverse or partnering with Brian or partnering with us. And you're going to be talking about them in here. You're going to be introducing people to them in here, in this setting, face to
Right.
face. Yeah.
Correct. And I think that's a huge point, Deb, because when we were involved in Otherverse, right, and Deb touched on this, is that there's a lot of people already coming to Brian. There's a lot of people coming to this world that a lot of you guys have enjoyed for a long time that want to have tokens, want to be part of creating sovereigns and be part of creating worlds that will have utility, right? We will be the first potentially to know some of those things and have them come and present to us and all of our community that's going to be in this trading world. This changes. One of the hardest things to do is to find out valuable or viable early launch tokens that you can trust. Now, if a owner is going to stand on a stage and talk to you, or his team is going to be up here to answer questions, they're not going to be the kind of team that Deb just talked about that sucks you in and takes your money, right? Because they're vetted, they're building worlds inside Otherverse. We know who they are, and they've come to us and said, hey, at like today at 12 o'clock, Anna, I'm on stage. We would have a list of potential coins, NFTs, things that want to talk that will be on stage, and people can come and just listen to the people that are presenting their tokens, their NFTs, their opportunities. Unbelievable change in the way that everything's going. Now, once they launch their tokens, then we take them and put them in nSights and we trade them. Okay, that's the value proposition of nSights, right? Is that either you can hold them and let them go up, or you can hold part and let it go up and put part in nSights and let them trade them for you and try to accumulate more of those coins as the market changes. That's not all.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Doug. I actually had a question that came in, and I think this is a quite an important question because it differentiates the difference between the stock market and crypto trading. And someone asked, does the markets for crypto trading, does it close and open daily like a stock market?
No.
Great question, though.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, and Anna, back when I started Forex, it's like that. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's the New York Open, the London Open, the Eastern Open, Japan opens. And you when you first start, you go, this is great. I can trade 24 hours a day. No, it's not great because you can't stay up 24 hours a day. Right. And unless you develop a system like I do, I only look at this thing when I go on Tuesday, I go on Thursday, and I go on Saturday. Other than that, I never look at my system. Never. And so that's great because my system trades 24 hours a day. But I used to trade 24 hours a day in the Forex, and I would have anywhere from $1 million to $10 million in a trade at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been trading all day, and the market is kind of fluctuating back and forth. I guarantee you I'm not going to bed, right? So that used to be what we thought was a blessing, ended up being a curse until we learned how to automate everything, okay? And then that changed the world.
Yeah, and crypto does trade 24/7. Like crypto never stops. It never sleeps.
Yeah. And so if you're in bed sleeping and a fundamental announcement comes out, that's a news announcement, comes out that, something bad has happened, right? And the market's crashing. Well, you're sleeping while it's crashing unless you have a system that's managing it and trading it for you. Okay. All right. So early access, huge deal. Okay. This is another thing that I'm going to kind of dig into a couple of different ways. Okay. I think the social and collaborative model, we try to do this in Twitter. We try to do it in Instagram. We try to do it in other social medias. Most of the scams are done in Twitter and Telegram, excuse me. Thank you. Yeah. Telegram. Most of them are done in Telegram. But like in our world, if we're vetting people that are coming into our world, right? When you're sitting at a table and we're collaborating together, right? the shared knowledge, your growth, the growth of traders will become exponential, I think, because it will be real information, real data, and real sharing. And there's another value to that, and I'm going to get into that in the next slide. But the ability to have a social environment that, somebody sits, you're sitting at a table with somebody and they said, hey, did you catch the presentation yesterday on XYZ token or UTHIX token that Brian did or whatever? And you go, no, I missed that. What was it about? And they tell you what it was about. And by the way, there's a presentation tomorrow at 2:00. You should sit in on that. And now you're getting information, all right? You're getting information from real sources, not fake sources. And it's in a way that you're looking, and to me, back to the dance floor example, you're almost touching, right? You're almost, that energetic bond is there in a way that it's not there in current social media. And to me, it's very powerful. And I think this world will create that kind of environment, again, that doesn't exist in my world right now in the way that I trade. It exists in the world that I trade right now based on those candles going up and down. That tells me what the rest of the world is wanting to do. I can read the social sentiment. I can read what the world is saying because I've learned how to read those very well. It's like reading the Matrix, right? I can see that and understand that. But here, this is going to be much different, and it's going to allow that personal back and forth social sharing. And maybe you end up, forming a club together. Maybe it can't be like an investment club where you're sharing pools of money, but maybe you have a form of investment club, and we looked at designing those and building those where people can share ideas, but they control their own money. Right? You stay in control of your own assets. You don't ever give your money to somebody else or in a pool. Biggest way to lose money is to give it to somebody else, right? So we never encourage anybody doing that ever. So this is a big deal.
Being in Otherverse and having these meetups is really. How many times have we been cloned on Telegram? How many times has somebody else pretended to be me on Facebook, messaging somebody right on all of these platforms? Here you have, it's us, right? It's our avatar. We're sitting together. We're hanging out. It's that alone, just being in, it's so different. We talk about going to conventions, getting on a plane, making sure the kids and the dog and everybody is set so that we can go and meet up and do this stuff in person. Well, how great is it going to be that I can sit here and be a part of this, and still my kids are, coming home when it's time to come home from school, and they're taking care of the dog, and I'm here and I don't miss anything. Mm-hmm. This is it's the future. It's the future, Doug.
It is 100%.
It's so exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait until we can come in. I look at these coins and I'm thinking, is this a coin that I want to trade? And I go do my research, and I'm sitting here by myself and I'm doing all of my research, and I decide, yes, I'm going to trade this coin. I would love to be in a room and have a group of us looking at a coin and saying, hey, you want to try it? We should try this. This would be fun, right? And get the feedback of other people at the same time you're picking those coins.
Yeah. And you can ask them, how successful have you been in your last 5 picks?
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
So, you got a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
And this social setting goes to a whole new level. And I'm going to share something with you guys that I developed. I developed a system called J-Bean, and you see the jelly beans falling out of the air. There's a thing called wisdom of crowds, and I developed with AI, and I taught AI how to trade, and I taught AI how to do market analysis in a way that I can pick the highs and lows of tomorrow's markets within 0.25%, not 2% or 5% or 10%. We're usually within 0.25%. Part of that allows me to do that is a mathematical thing called wisdom of crowds. And it takes all of the people that are involved in this guessing and working at figuring out what the highs and lows are going to be. And then the AI takes that data and crunches it and gives us analysis on the market. Well, when we take wisdom of crowds and we use a smarter decision-making capability of that, we're going to have the ability to be able to pick within a high probability of the direction of the market tomorrow, the high of the market tomorrow, the low of the market tomorrow, and know where, if we need to stay in, know if we need to get out. The system will know that. And if you're trading as an advanced trader, you'll have more information than you've ever had to be able to make those decisions because of this model that I've built. And when we go to this level, we've designed JBean, and won't go deeply into it, but based on gamifying JBean, we looked at and I running it all through legal and doing all those things to make sure it's not gambling, and it's not, because it's a skill set, not a guess set, but it's a true skill set to be able to do this. But the ability to pick that high and low, people that get the closest to the high and low and the direction of the tomorrow will win crypto. All right. They'll actually have the ability to gamify that. And that'll be in this social environment. And the reason they'll win crypto is because they're contributing to the wisdom of crowds. They're contributing to the knowledge. Now, this can be done in this environment in a very fun way, right? Where if I do it in the current world, yeah, we can do it. It's kind of static. But here, I can see a completely dynamic, immersive system that allows us to actually collect and share information, share data, and then have that data work in the AI that we're developing in a way that gives us an edge over the market. And maybe new tokens that are coming out, we can actually take the social sentiments from those new tokens, and with wisdom of crowds, combining those two things together in a way that's never been done to get an edge over the market. Super, super exciting where we're going. We have the whole world ahead of us, guys, in a different way than we've ever had before. So, guys, this is the future. I think this is where we're going. I love where we've been for the last 20 years, but I get chills. When I think about the convention center, when I think about trading centers, when I think about interaction and shared knowledge, and then using AI correctly, using wisdoms of crowds correctly, using teaching people the right way, making sure people aren't getting scammed and ripped off and all those things. I love Brian, and I'll share one story about Brian and where Brian and I met.
We've got 2 minutes, Doug. 2 minutes before I've got to cut you off, unfortunately.
Okay, it's a very short one. Brian and I were speaking in Scottsdale together at a convention. I was on stage. I spoke before he did. He got up on stage. We're in the front row. My wife and I are in the front row. My wife leaned over, whispered in my ears. She said, "Are we listening to a Steve Jobs?" And I said, "I think we're listening to a Steve Jobs on steroids." I think Brian is amazing. Thank you, Brian, for everything you've given us in Otherverse. So Anna, back to you.
Thank you. So actually, I have one quick question I want to sneak in here with the 1 minute I have left. How to get square footage NFT? Is it first come, first serve for prime real estate? Let's get that one in real quick.
Yeah, so MetaForgeGroup.com. The NFTs are for sale. When you go on, there's a discount for them right now. You'll see that. I do a presentation on them. Just go there. There's 3 different NFTs. And I developed a thing called Meta Superposition. You can watch a thing on that. But the one that gives you 5 locations is the biggest one you can get. And it's a super deal. And we're hiring a professional company to bring conventions in. So you'll be able to lease out your square footage to conventions coming in. And so like Las Vegas is running a convention, they want to reproduce it. in the virtual world, they'll come to us, we'll reproduce that. And the only way for them to get square footage is to lease your NFT that is negotiated by that company, not by you. So it's a wonderful opportunity to get involved. So MetaForgeGroup.com.
MetaForge
Is it
Group.
.com or IO? Okay.
.com? Are we sure?
I think if it's not .com, do .io, but it's .com.
I think you said IO first, so I just wanted to make sure.
That's
Okay.
MetaForgeGroup.com.
Excellent.
MetaForgeGroup.com. Deb, Doug, thank you so much for taking the time out today to talk to us about MetaForge, about trading cryptocurrencies, about nSights, about everything that you're doing, and especially about what is coming in Otherverse. We're super, super excited.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. Really quickly, give you one more minute. Any last words? Anything you want to say? How can people get a hold of you? They want to ask any more questions?
You can go to, Deb, go ahead.
Well, we've got our Discord channel, so go to this. Well, if I had the link, I don't know how you give a Discord. I'm so sorry.
Do you guys have a booth though, right? In Classic, there's a booth in Classic.
Yes, there's there's MetaForge in Classic. Rhonda and Sharona and the team are doing that. You can tell them that you heard my talk. You want to get a hold of us. That's an easy way. You can go to nSights, DeFiTrader.io.
Yes.
And you can get a hold of us there. You can come and listen to me talk on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays for free. I give $1 million worth of education for free. You're more than welcome to sit with us and learn all about trading.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. 1:30 p.m. right here is SocialFi, the next big thing. Crypto Daily will be hosting Otherverse's Brian Schuster with a special broadcast of an X-Phase Mario No-Falls roundtable live right here. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, a little bit of a half an hour break here. But stay tuned. Come right back here on this live stream. And I'll be piping in the Twitter space right here, the X space right here, and you can chat away, continue to talk. And then following that at 3 p.m., we'll be back with using Web3 and NFTs for charity with Paula Pixie Dezzutti. So very excited for the rest of the day. Doug, Deb, once again, thank you very much. And we will see you all as VirtualCon 2024 continues.